paramilitary, we joked about this photo, an extremely smartly dressed Luftwaffe officer looking down his nose at the sloppy Allied Guard. I later found out that he is Hans Hermann Müller, born on the 5th of February 1921 and had 16 confirmed victories. He flew his first wartime flight on the 12th of September 1940. He flew 241 combat missions. On the 11th of June 1944 at 0300 hours he was shot down by flak. Wounded he bailed out of his Ju-88 south of Cannes, France. We all believed, as did everyone else, Hugo Boss designed the uniforms because of a multitude of posts on social media. Today, we are delving into the origins and evolution of the German World War II uniforms and who actually designed them. In the early 1920s, Germany saw the rise of paramilitary organizations associated with the Nazi movement. These groups, like the Sturmabteilung or SA, needed a way to visually represent their unity and solidarity. The solution was a simple ensemble of brown shirts and pants, which became the hallmark of their attire. The brown uniform was practical, inexpensive, and it effectively conveyed a sense of camaraderie and common purpose among the members of these emerging paramilitary groups. It was a uniform that helped them stand out and present a united front. By the mid-1930s, the Nazis had consolidated their control over Germany, and the uniform underwent a significant transformation. The simple brown shirts and pants were replaced by a more refined and intimidating design. The iconic Nazi uniform featured a tailored black design, creating a sharp contrast to the original brown shirts. It included elements like the swastika armband, SS collar tabs, and other insignia representing rank and affiliation. In 1932, the new all-black SS uniform was designed by Diebitsch with graphic designer Walter Heck. In November 1933 he joined the SS, and in 1937 he rejoined the NSDAP. In 1938 he received one of the top prizes at a House of German Art exhibition in Munich for his painting titled, Mutter. Karl Diebitsch created a design that was both functional and fashionable, with clean lines and a sleek silhouette. The materials used to make the uniforms were carefully chosen for their durability and ease of care. The jackets and trousers were made of heavy woolen fabric, while the shirts and undergarments were made of cotton. The boots were made of leather and had hobnails on the soles for better traction. The peaked caps were made of a lightweight, waterproof material called tricot. Diebitsch was also a reserve officer in the Waffen-SS during the course of the Second World War. He received staff assignments to the various SS divisions. He served in the SS Viking and Germania amongst other SS units. Diebitsch survived the war and died in 1985. Walter Heck was a German graphic designer who created the SS double rune symbol for the Nazi Schutzstaffel in 1929, the SA runes badge, and co-designed the all-black SS uniform in 1932. He was a company commander in the SA, and later joined the SS. Heck worked for Ferdinand Hofstadter in Bonn, a company that made badges, and worked in a studio focused on military designs. In November 1933 he joined the SS. 1936 he designed SS dagger and sword parts, along with many other SS items. Hugo Boss and the production of Nazi uniforms. Often credited with the design of the uniforms and even sometimes referred to as Hitler's personal tailor, simply has no truth and is part of the myth surrounding the company over the years. Hugo Boss at the time wasn't the magnificent house of fashion as we know today. Boss was born in Metzingen and served in World War I. Boss founded his own clothing company in Metzingen in 1923 and then opened a factory in 1924, initially with two partners. The company produced shirts and jackets and later work clothing, sportswear, and raincoats. In the beginning their profits were excellent, but as the Great Depression wore on it created massive problems in the garment industry. By 1931 bankruptcy was inevitable. His company was left with 6 machines after a settlement with creditors. Boss joined the Nazi Party in 1931, 2 years before Adolf Hitler came to power. Through this, he received orders for uniforms by the SA and later on the SS. Hugo Boss and other companies were jointly commissioned to produce uniforms once the Nazis came to power. Hugo Boss produced uniforms for the SS, the Hitler Youth, the BDM, the Postal Service, the National Railroad, and later the Wehrmacht. Over the next few years orders increased significantly, resulting in profits of over 1 million Reichsmarks in 1940. In 1942 there was a sharp decline in profits as rigid price controls were enforced. The company used 140 forced laborers and 40 French prisoners of war, making it second largest employer of forced labor in Metzingen. Despite relocation due to bombings, Hugo Boss continued receiving orders from the Wehrmacht well into 1945. In 1999, U.S. lawyers acting on behalf of Holocaust survivors started legal proceedings against the Hugo Boss Company over the use of slave labor during the war. The misuse of 140 Polish and 40 French forced workers led to an apology by the company. After World War II, the denazification process saw Boss initially labeled as an activist, supporter and beneficiary of Nazism, which resulted in a heavy fine, also stripping him of his voting rights and capacity to run a business. This initial ruling was appealed, and Boss was relabeled as a Mitläufer or fellow traveler, a category with a less severe punishment. Metzinger was in the French sector of Allied-controlled Germany and began manufacturing uniforms for the French occupational police and Red Cross. Nevertheless, the effects of the ban led to Boss's son-in-law, Eugen Holy, husband of his daughter Gertrude, taking over both the ownership and the running of the company. Hugo Boss died of a tooth abscess in 1948 at the age of 63. In post-war years the company grew under Holy's leadership. In 1969 grandsons Jochen and Hugh Holy took over management and made a big change, orientating the business toward luxury menswear. Hugo Boss was one of the whole textile industry out of 15,000 companies that produced uniforms during the war. So, there we have it. Hugo Boss did not design the uniforms. I really hope that you have found this interesting. If so, please hit the like button and subscribe. Also feel free to click on the link to my author site below and download a free military fiction ebook. Thank you and have a great day.